What's happening, guys? Back at you with another video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So let's get to it. Alright, so we recently had the last movie in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, released in theaters. I was able to watch it twice. So basically, I'm going to give my review on it, talk about it, and tell you what I thought of the movie. So let me start off by saying this was a devastating movie. The way that this movie just puts you on this emotional roller coaster throughout the whole movie, just giving you all this. It was just like it's devastating, just emotional roller coaster of a movie throughout the whole time. And on the other hand, it was fun. It was a blast to watch, and just the way this movie was crafted by James Gunn and everybody involved, and just the way that they were able to tell this story and tell this movie with being the last movie of the Guardians of the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. uh I think they wrapped it up pretty nicely when it comes to this last movie, and I just think they did such a phenomenal job with this movie. Like, really, this movie felt like it was kind of like the old MCU in a way. Like, and don't get me wrong, I like everything that the MCU puts out for the most part, but I gotta say, this movie really resonated to me when it comes to like sort of like kind of going back to like how the MCU used to be, and this really is one of the best movies since probably Endgame, Infinity War and Endgame. This is probably one of the best MCU movies since those movies, and it just feels like it's kind of the MCU of old, and just the way that this movie was able to just portray these characters, and give us this story and give us this sort of finale to this group of characters that we love for so long, and just being able to put that on screen, watching that, and just giving us this phenomenal movie, I think is really, like I said, it's one of the best movies in the MCU since like Infinity War and Endgame. It just felt like it was part of the MCU of old and all that. Just some of that stuff we've been missing from the MCU, really. And just felt like it was just an amazing movie. I gotta say, it was just an amazing movie. And really, one of the things it comes down to is like dealing with Rocket's kind of story. This was kind of Rocket's story in a way that the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy is almost kind of Rocket's story, and James Gunn has kind of said that Rocket is kind of the heart of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and he says that this was like sort of a story that we were getting between all three movies, kind of on Rocket's side. Not like we got this. Of course, we get a story from all the characters and all that stuff, but like he was saying, like how Guardians of the Galaxy movies are, Rocket's kind of at the center of it. Is kind of is at the He's kind of the heart of all the movies and all that. And the way he was able to kind of wrap up this story and tell us this story between all the movies on how Rocket is the way he is, the character arc of Rocket, just the way that he was, in the beginning he was like against the rest of the team, then he found trust with them, he found a family with them, and then he just goes out, he's like with them, he just goes out and fights for them and all that, just across his character arc from across all three movies of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and just able to put that on screen for us in these movies. James Gunn was able to do such a good job and great job with this, telling us his story. And it kind of goes to a line that Lila said in the movie, to where she was like saying, this has been your story the whole time, you just didn't know it yet. And it kind of speaks back to how James Gunn has said that, we're kind of getting Rocket's story within these three movies. Rocket's kind of the heart of the team and all that, and just so it speaks to that, it kind of speaks to that, how his character was, and just seeing this backstory on Rocket, and just I just gotta say, there is animal cruelty, of course. Y'all probably know that, probably heard about it already. So this definitely might be a hard watch for any animal lovers. That was definitely a hard watch for me, because like I like animals and all that stuff, but like it was definitely some um devastating emotional time seeing some of the animal cruelty that we got in this movie and stuff. So it's definitely going to be a hard watch for animal lovers and all that. But like, besides that, you're able to get through all that, you're just going to be able to watch the movie and get just some amazing movie out of it. It's going to put you on an emotional roller coaster, like I said. Like, even me, like, it was hard. I got choked up. I almost was almost in tears. And this movie is just going to put you on that, but it's going to make you, it's going to be a feel good time at towards the end. When we get towards the end and stuff like that, it's gonna be a feel good time. And just the way James Gunn was able to wrap all these characters, all these different characters, all their stories and all that, and wrap it up within this movie, and just being able to do that with across all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and of course all their other appearances that they had in other movies, and be able to give us this movie to where it wraps up all their character arcs, wraps up all their stories, and of course they're going to be out there in the world, and no telling if we'll revisit those characters again or not. We do know, of course, we if you saw the movie, I'm not going to really try to give too much spoilers, but if you saw the movie, there is an after credit scene that does give us a hint that we will be following a character in the future. We'll be checking in on them in the future. So we'll at least get one of those characters back and have them around. But all these other characters, all these other characters are going to be around and all that stuff. And I feel like if they do make another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, they show us kind of a hint of a new team of Guardians of the Galaxy uh, towards the end. But I don't feel like we necessarily need another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I mean, I would be all for one if they do another one with this new team and all that stuff. But I feel like whoever comes on, because James Gunn is not coming on no more. Of course, he's moving to DC. So whoever comes on, I just feel like they need to put sort of their own little style on it a little bit. They could probably keep little hints of past Guardians of the Galaxy movie styles a little bit in there, here and there, like little hints. But I think they'd be good to kind of put a little bit of a own style on it. Whoever they do decide to make another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and whoever decides to actually come in and do it, that'll be interesting to see. But I don't think we necessarily need another Guardians of the Galaxy movie anytime soon. We just know that this group of characters, they're out there, they're around us, and they're in the universe and galaxy and all that stuff, still amongst us, still out there. So it's just nice to know that they're still there. But let's talk about the villain of the movie, the High Evolutionary. I gotta say, this is one great villain. I was like this, the way they portrayed this villain in this movie. You really hated this character, and it just speaks to the actor who played him. It speaks to the writing, on how they portrayed this, on how they put this character on the screen. You just really hate this character, and it just speaks to all that together. The actor portrayal, the writing, all that stuff just speaks to all that, because you just really hate this character. You even wanted to see this character die in the end. So it really speaks to it. Like I said, High Evolutionary is definitely a great villain. I'll say probably the best villain out of all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and just the way that it's portrayed this character, like you really hate him for everything he was able to do and was doing, and you really did favor for him to actually kind of die in the end. So I gotta say, it just goes down to the actor portrayal and the writing of this character and everything like that they were able to do. I will say, when it comes to one of the new characters that we got with Adam Warlock, I just felt like Adam Warlock was kind of underused. I get what they were trying to do. He was basically has the mind of a child, pretty much, and he comes across as this character who's kind of childlike and kind of a doofus and all that stuff. I just feel like he was kind of underused just a little bit. I'm not really complaining too much about his character in the movie. I guess he moved the plot along, I guess, in some parts and stuff like that. But I just felt like this character is a powerful character in the comics, and just transferring the character into the movie, it just felt like he was underused. But I see what they were trying to do with this character in the movie. I just felt like, compared to the comic book counterpart, being all powerful and all that stuff, and he was kind of powerful in this movie. There's scenes of him being powerful and all that, but I just felt like he was a little underutilized and just didn't come across too much. And that's nothing against Will Poulter, the actor. He played the part that was written and all that, and but I like the character still. The character is good in the movie. Just felt like it was just an underutilized character in the movie. Like I was saying before, going back to some of the other stuff, I was saying how this is devastating, emotional roller coaster of a movie. This movie is definitely a dark movie. I gotta say, this is probably one of the darkest movies in the MCU. Just everything it was doing and all that stuff, and it really spoke to high stakes. This movie had some high stakes. You didn't know who was going to die. Anybody could have died at any time, and I just like how it was just high stakes. It kept you on the edge of the seat, wondering if somebody's going to die, who's going to die, and you didn't know who, and it just came across anybody could die at any time. Definitely had some high stakes in this movie. And honestly, this movie kind of surprised. This movie was I won't say surprised that it was PG-13, but they do kind of push the limits on PG-13 ratings a couple of times. I gotta say that there's some actual gore in this movie, which was surprising. So they do kind of push the limits of PG-13 rating on this movie. And of course, we gotta talk about the humor. I gotta say, this was a funny movie, as always. As as all the other Guardians of the Galaxy movies are. This one was no different. This one had a lot of humor in it, and I like how the humor was used in this movie. Like, there was like I said, there was definitely some dark, emotional scenes that we got in this movie, and they might, the way the humor was portrayed in this movie, it really felt like it fit. Like it wasn't like undercutting any dark or emotional scenes or anything like that. So the humor worked really well in this movie, and I really enjoyed the humor. Like, this might be one of the funniest ones of when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Um, I enjoyed it. Like, I was laughing a lot and stuff. I was enjoying and having a great blast of a time. Enjoyed it and all that. I enjoyed the humor that they're able to put in this movie. It was really funny. And like I was saying before, I think this is a great finale when it comes to the Guardians of the Galaxy team. Like I was saying, there's, we do get an after credit scene. We get like two after credit scenes. Um, Basically, one is talking about the future of one character. Like, we're going to get that character again in the future. The other scene is basically setting up this new team of Guardians of the Galaxy. Whether or not we'll get a movie with them, or we'll see them in the future. Not sure yet, but at least we know that there is a Guardians of the Galaxy team out there still. So it's still a nice little after credit scene, being able to have that and send that up. But like I said, this movie does a great job when it comes to wrapping up character stories, characters arcs, and basically being able to wrap that up. It's like an ending movie. It's an ending to a trilogy, and it does a great job to wrapping up these character stories and their arcs. So, like, I gotta say, it's amazing. It was an amazing time watching this movie, and amazing being able to see it. I might get into a slight spoiler right here, but like, there was a scene. If you don't want to hear about this specific scene, it's not like a big, huge spoiler, but it's a slight spoiler for the movie, for like towards the ending a little bit. So if you don't really want to hear it, skip ahead a few. But I think it was really great scene when it came to the team, splitting up, kind of going their own ways, and the way that they're all grouped together. And then we get the one part where Groot says, "I love you guys." Like, he literally spoke, "I love you guys." And you see that the team doesn't react. And there was a theory that was going on, that was saying, like, maybe the reason why we hear Groot say, "I love you guys," and he doesn't say, "I am Groot," is because we are a part of the team. We are a part of the family. We are a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy team and family. That way we can actually be able to understand Groot. So that's why it came across as, "I love you guys." We're able to hear it, but there was no reaction from the rest of the team. And James Gunn has basically confirmed that that is true, that the reason why we hear Groot say, "I love you guys," and the team doesn't react is because that is a message to us that we are a part of the team, a part of the family, and all that. And I think that's just a nice touch, honestly, giving us that little scene, giving us that little touch of, you know, we went on this journey with this team from the beginning to when they first appeared on screen for us, and then forming a team all the way to now, to this ending, to this finale of the team, and the way they go their separate ways, and just closes out their stories and all that stuff over these past basically almost 10 years now. So it's a nice, that scene I thought was a pretty good, awesome scene. It's a nice touch to the audience who stuck around all these years and enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy and like Guardians of the Galaxy, enjoyed the movies and all that stuff. So I think that was a little nice touch for them, that they were able to do that. But like I said, this was an amazing movie. I enjoyed this movie so much. Like I said, I watched it twice. I watched it that Friday when it came out, and I watched it again the next day. I enjoyed this movie so much. I think this is definitely one of the best movies since Infinity War, since Endgame in the MCU. Just reminds me of the MCU of old. Just the way that was giving off this vibe. Just the way we're able to have a blast watching this movie. Puts you on a devastating emotional roller coaster, yeah. But the way that this movie just does different things and just gives us everything, and it's just the way it wraps up everybody's story and all these character stories and character arcs. Amazing time watching it in theaters. I enjoyed this movie so much. Definitely going to be one of my new favorites in the MCU. I enjoy this movie so much. I love this movie, honestly. It's amazing work of achievement, and uh just say congratulations to the whole cast and crew and James Gunn being able to put out this final movie for Marvel. Now that he's going to move to DC, he left his mark in the MCU, and this is definitely going to show how he left his mark in MCU with this movie too, and all the other movies also too. So I enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy uh, movies, all three of them, and then of course we got the holiday special, and then of course we get other appearances in other movies from them. So I enjoyed everything that the Guardians of the Galaxy was able to do. I liked this movie. I liked the way it was a finale to this to everything, and just able to do this. Such an amazing, phenomenal movie. But let me know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this movie? Did you see it yet? And what did you think about it? But that's going to do it all for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Remember, if you want to be part of Team Legendary, all you got to do is subscribe and turn notifications on so you know when I post another video. Hope you all have an awesome day. And remember, be legendary.